Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Unit 3.1 Notes, Day 2. Today we are continuing our discussion on solving absolute value equations. Our learning target today is to be able to solve absolute value equations with one variable. So, if you want to take a second, go ahead and pause the video. Yes, pause the video first, and then try A, B, and C on your own. Good luck. And I just started some of them for you. So number A, I didn't finish it yet because this is one that has one solution. So once we figure out how many solutions it has, then I can start solving it. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Negative 9 divided by 6 is negative 3 over 2. And yes, we kind of expect you to know how to do that. Okay, now if you don't know what the least common multiple is, or the greatest common factor to divide it, guys, use your calculator and then switch it to a fraction. Okay. B, I know it was no solution right away because it equals a negative 29. In C, it equaled a positive, so when it equaled a positive, we had two solutions. When it equaled 0, we have 1, and if it equaled the negative, it was no solution. Okay, so for this guy, we had to solve. I have to subtract 10. We get negative n equals negative 23. And then we have to divide by negative 1. So we get n equals 23. Now that's one answer, but then I have to do the exact same steps again. So negative n equals 3, divide by negative 1, and we get that n equals negative 3. And the last thing I need to do is put that in order. N equals negative 3 or 23. And there you have it. 2.5 minutes of what we did yesterday. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is just more complex equations. So before we start solving an absolute value equation, you must cancel all operations outside of the absolute value. Okay, so before we begin, we have to cancel all operations outside of the absolute value. Okay, then, only then can we check if it has two solutions, one solution, or no solution. Okay, so we have to cancel everything on the outside first, and then we do all that. So let's just take a look and see what it looks like. So that's the absolute value. Do you see how that 2 is on the outside? Yeah, I have to cancel that first. So I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. I still have the absolute value of negative 10 plus x equals 19. And now I can tell that it's a positive. It's going to have two solutions. So then I can break it up to negative 10 plus x equals a negative 19, and negative 10 plus x equals a positive 19. Okay, so now I can solve by adding 10 to both sides. We get that x equals negative 9. Add 10 to both sides. and we get that x equals 29. So x equals -9 or 29. Okay, so we have to do what's outside first. So here's what's, there's my absolute value. And don't try to distribute that in there. No, no, no. I need to get rid of that first. So I'm going to divide both sides by -3. So I'm left with the absolute value of n minus 6 equals 9 divided by -3. Well, that's -3. And when my absolute value equals a negative, it's no solution. Okay? So I know right away that this is, well, not right away because we had to do something first, but it's no solution. And that just looks weird. So I'm going to make it look nicer. There we go. Okay. So I cannot be like, 30 equals a negative, so I'm going to write no solution. Nope, nope, nope. We have to do what's on the outside first. Okay, so I'm multiplying that -5. I have to do the inverse, and now I have to divide by -5. When I divide by -5, I have -4 plus 6x inside the absolute value, and then I have -100 divided by -5. And that gives me a +20. And so now that it's a +20, when we look at this, you should know that there are going to be two solutions. Now your answer is not two solutions, your answer is finding the two solutions. So set it up to a -20 and a +20. Okay, so let's go ahead. I have to add 4 to both sides. We get 6x equals -16. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals negative what? You can divide them both by 2. And you get -8/3. Okay, and the nice thing about two solutions is I'm doing the exact same steps as I did on the first one. There's just a different number on the other side. Divide by 6, and we get that x equals 4. So my final answer, x equals -8/3 or a +4. Okay, so with example number 4, the key thing is you can't just say no solution right away. You have to do what's outside first. So I'm going to add the 5 to both sides. Those cancel. And I have the absolute value of 14 minus 6x, and that is equal to 0. And when it's equal to 0, we know that it's going to be one solution. Okay, so find out what it is. I'm going to set that equal to 0 and solve. Okay, we need to subtract the 14 to both sides. We get -6x equals -14. And then divide both sides by a -6. And we get x equals 7/3. I divided them both by 2. And if you don't believe me, -14 divided by -6. There we go. Math, enter, enter. Got it right that time. Way to go, Mr. Grice. Okay, so when we have multiple stuff outside, it's just like order of operations, okay? We need to subtract the 1 first, because I'm following the reverse order of operations. So then we have -4, -6 minus 6x equals 0. So I still have that absolute value. This is multiplication, so I need to divide both sides by -4. And then we still have the absolute value of -6 minus 6x equaling 0. So now I can tell that this is one solution. Okay, and since it's one solution, I need to figure it out. I just can't say, oh, one solution, I'm done. No. So we're going to add 6x, or 6, I'm sorry, to both sides. We get -6x equals 6. Divide both sides by -6. And we get that x equals -1. Okay, number 6. Absolute value is not alone. That's multiplying by a fraction, and to get rid of a fraction, I need to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so I've got -3x minus 2, well, the absolute value of, and then 1 times 4 is 4. So the absolute value is by itself. We set it up, and this is going to give us, this is going to give us 2 solutions. So -3x minus 2 equals a -4. And then -3x minus 2 equals a +4. Okay? Why don't you guys go ahead and solve that on your own? Good luck. Okay, and then we get x equals -2 or 2 over 3. Just remember, when you have 2 solutions, you put them in order from least to greatest, and that you need to have the word or else. Okay, well, that's the first page. Now the back side is just more practice. Okay, so we'll go through, we'll set a couple of them, well, we'll set all of them up. Most of the time I'm going to let you kind of work through it on your own. But let's just get started. So absolute value, it's not by itself. So first step, add 7 to both sides. We get the absolute value of 4 plus m equals 8. Awesome. So we know that this is going to have 2 solutions. 4 plus m equals -8. 4 plus m equals +8. Go ahead and solve them. No, you don't have to pause the video because this should not take very long. Yeah, because all you're doing is you're subtracting 4 to both sides. Subtract 4 to both sides. M equals -12. M equals 4. So my answer is m equals 12, -12, or 4. Yeah, that wasn't that hard. All right, number 2. What do you have to do? Well, there's my absolute value. It's not by itself, so I have to multiply by 2/3. So we're left with the absolute value of n minus 4 equaling 21 times 2 over 3. And we get 14. So what's that tell us? Yeah, that tells us 2 solutions. So if n minus 4 equals negative 14, n minus 4 equals a positive 14, and once again, you guys solve. Sorry guys, I got a cough drop. Hacking it up over here today. All right, so we had to add 4 to both sides on both equations. So we get n equals negative 10 and n equals 18. So my final answer, I would say that n equals negative 10 or a positive 18. Okay. Number 3. Is the absolute value by itself? No, because there's a 10. It's a negative 10, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. That cancels, and we get 8a minus 4, the absolute value of, equals 52. So that tells us that there are, good, there's going to be 2 solutions. So you guys are setting them up. You guys are solving. Pause the video. Good luck. Okay, so your final answer, a should equal negative 6 or 7. All right, number 4. No, you can't say right away that it's no solution. I don't know that yet. Why? Because the absolute value is not by itself. Okay, so we have to add 8 to both sides. So then we have 5 times the absolute value of negative 4y minus 8 equals negative 60. You can't say anything yet. Absolute value is not by itself. So this is multiplication. I need to divide both sides. I'm sorry, that's not a negative 5, guys. It's a 5. So I'm dividing both sides by 5. And then we have the absolute value. Sorry, the absolute value of negative 4y minus 8 equals to negative 12. Can it equal a negative 12? No, this is no solution. Okay, so as soon as the absolute value is by itself, then you can tell me if it's no solution or not. Okay. Okay. All right. Number 5. Okay. Let's see how well you guys can do all on your own. Pause the video. Good luck. It's not no solution. Okay, so this is just my work to get the absolute value by itself. I added 9 to both sides, and then I divided by negative 4. So now this is telling me it's going to be 2 solutions. So now I can go ahead and do the negative x minus 7 equals a negative 4, and the negative x minus 7 equals a positive 4. All right? You just need to be careful solving this. Yeah, because there's a negative x, okay? So I would add 7 to both sides. we would get negative x equals a positive 3. And then I'm going to divide by negative 1 to get that x equals negative 3. Okay, and remember on the other side, you are doing the exact same thing. You added 7, and then I divide by negative 1 to get negative 11. And then we need to put those two in order. So x equals negative 11 or negative 3. Okay. So number 6, all on your own. Okay. Don't be scared. It's not no solution. You can't be like, oh, it's no solution. Remember, get the absolute value by itself. Pause the video. Good luck. Okay, and you should get that w equals 5 over 2. Okay, so if you have any questions or you need extra help, please come find Ms. Carranza or myself. You know we would love to help you out. Oh, did you see the answers were on the bottom? Wah, wah. Okay, so 3.1 practice B is your homework. It is two-sided. And oh, look at that, there are answers again. We're so nice. All right, if you need us, come find us. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 3.1 Notes, Day 2. Thanks for watching.